Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Makeover Monday, week 38. And I guess this is my fourth or fifth Watch Me Viz. And hopefully you learned something from this today. Of course, there is the live chat. Feel free to leave any comments or questions or things like that relevant to this Watch Me Viz session, and I'll do my best to answer those. So let's go ahead and get started. So this week's data set is about books and the price development in the EU of all books and all products. So to start off, we can see that there is, let's see, we have a chart. It looks pretty simple, and it looks like some kind of price index. So yep, so we've got a price index there. And for those that have joined, if somebody could leave me a comment and let me know that you can hear me, that would be appreciated as well. So back to the original visualization. It looks like it's based on an index. I can see in the upper left it says index 2015 equals 100. So that means essentially that 2015 is the baseline. So both the books and all products will both be that's kind of the reference point, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the source article and have a quick look at what it says. Okay, and thanks for confirming that you can hear me. All right, social distancing, lockdown, teleworking, teleschooling. Okay. Okay, pick up a book and read. Let's imagine free. Okay. Buying a book is relatively affordable. The price of books in the EU is growing more slowly than total consumer prices. Okay, and that's good. We can see that in the, well, it's not necessarily good, but we can see that the chart actually reveals that because the blue line is under the red line. Okay, and it looks like we're going to be looking at the monthly harmonized index of consumer prices, HICP, between February 2010 and February 2020. The price of books has increased 9% compared to 14% for total consumer prices. Okay. Okay, so some interesting insights here. Okay, and then we're looking at imports and exports. I'm going to ignore the rest of this because it looks like it's only relevant to this first chart. So I'm going to actually go ahead and go to this HICP, Harmonized Index of Consumer Prices, and see what it says. So it's the consumer price index as is calculated in the EU according to, okay, it's used to measure inflation. Okay, the most important, okay, European index, national. Okay, so that's not very interesting, so I'm just going to go ahead and close that. Okay, so let's go back to data.world and look at the data set. Actually, let me go ahead and click on the data source as well. Okay, so it's some kind of report here. So these are the price indices. Okay, and it looks like the data actually goes back to 2000. And what does it say in here? This goes February 2010 to February 2020. So I don't know if the data goes back to 2000, but maybe it does. That looks like the first, December 2000 looks like the first month that we have data for. Okay. Okay, so here's the data set. I'm just going to go ahead and download it. And let me show that. And I'm going to move it over to my Makeover Monday folder. And you can see my folders are nice and neatly organized. And now I can just go ahead and drop this straight into Tableau. And Tableau should, in theory, open up that worksheet. Okay, so it's books and HICP pivoted. Great. Okay, I'm going to clean up the name of the data source. Okay, and it looks like, so we could see it says F1, F2, F3, F4. So this looks like it's the pivoted data. So I'm going to actually use Tableau's data interpreter, which is, and I think, let me see how I try to see if I can remember how to do the zoom here. Oh well, I can't remember how to do it, but yeah. So if I zoom in on the screen, Okay, that's not going to do anything. So I'm just going to check this use data interpreter box. And Tableau is going to kind of read the spreadsheet, and hopefully it takes this second row for category, country, year, month, and sticks it up into the first row. It's going nice and slow. Oh, perfect. Okay. And so I'm just going to rename this just as index. Okay, that's great. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a calculated field based on the year month, because I want it to actually look like a year and a month. So I'm going to call this just date. Actually, I'll just call it month. And what I want to do is I want to take the left 4 of the year, and I want to convert that into an integer. So actually what I want to use first is the make date function. So let me just show you what that looks like. So make date, and you see the make date, we need to place into it a year, a month, and a day. Okay, so I've got my year, and yep, so then my month is going to be the right of the year month, comma 2, because we want the right 2, and then comma, and I'm just going to put 1 for the day. And let's see, so I've got an, oh, okay, I need to wrap the right in an integer as well. Okay, valid date, let's hit apply. And I've got 1/1 of 2000, 2/1, and so on. Okay, looking good there. So, yeah, all right, so let's go to sheet 1. Okay, oh, Denise, by the way, we have started planning out some cookie videos, so hopefully there might be one tomorrow, possibly, but keep an eye on my YouTube channel and go ahead and subscribe, and you should see one of those on there. So hopefully I have a nice cookie video up there for you. I think it's just going to be just regular old chocolate chips, so hopefully that's okay. Okay, so we have time series data. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to try to verify it against the original data source. So that's one thing I always like to do, is to compare the data. So I'm going to right click and drag my month field to the columns, and I'm going to just use continuous months. I'm going to put the index on the rows, and I'm going to see what are my categories here. So, okay, so we want to split this up by category, and this is the whole EU. So I'm hoping in my country filter, okay, so we have, okay, so we do have just the EU. So I'm going to pick that. All right, and for now, I'm just going to turn my labels on. I hate the labels typically, so I'll just do the line ends. And we got 105.69. Now, the problem is, it's kind of hard to see on here, but it looks like it's just above 105. And then, let's see, and then if I had to guess at books, it's going to be probably about 103, something like that. Ah, perfect. Okay, and then this goes back to 2000, but books only goes back to December of 2000. Actually, I think what I'm going to do then is I go through August 2020. I want this to start at I don't like having just a partial year here at the beginning, so I'm going to actually filter the data so it starts at January of 2001. So do that. I'm going to add a data source filter. And for my my month field, let's see, I'm going to pick years, and I want to exclude 2000. So let me just exclude 2000. Okay, there we go. So now we're going from January 2001 all the way to the end. Perfect. So in the country field, I'm going to choose aliases because I'm just going to rename this one to just EU. Okay, and hit OK. So, all right, very good. Okay, so Denise said she simply changed the year month from ABC to date, and it did it for me. Okay, great. So what Denise is saying there is that if you just change this field to, actually I'll show you what she means. If I put year month onto the rows, and for now I'm just going to duplicate it and then make it a date. So let's see what Tableau does here. So it makes it a year and a month. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that, Denise. That is significantly simpler, but I've already gotten mine written, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But thank you for the tip there. I assumed with the M in there that Tableau actually wouldn't be able to read it, but it's good to know that it does. Okay, great. So we've got a pretty simple time series here. Everything is based off of, let's see, where does it say? It says it's based off of, I thought it said in here somewhere. Didn't it say, I wonder, okay, because it just says, it just said index 2015 equals 100. So, all right, so that is a bit confusing to me. I'm actually going to stick category here. And if I filter the year to just 2000, no, 2015. And yeah, so this doesn't seem right. So if I take if I lasso all of these, and that gives me, okay, yeah, so that's 1200. So it took the average of the index for the for 2000 and set that as the index. Okay, that's fine. So that answers my question. Great. So we have something pretty simple like that. I'm just going to start building a bunch of different like time series visualizations so we can see. We can, so this is kind of their zoomed in view, something pretty similar there, but ours starts at 2001. The index itself, I don't know if it matters that it's 2 decimals. So I'm going to just format the number. I should change the default number format, but then that's going to mess up my access. But let me see. Default properties number format. I'm going to make it 1 decimal. And you'll see that now formats my access, but I can play around with that later. It's interesting how for books, the price goes up and down. I mean, just crazy all over the place. The way books are going up and down there. That's very interesting. So in particular, between August 2013 and January 2014, it goes kind of nuts. Okay. And then it looks like there's some crisscrossing. And so books were on, let's see, how do they actually define, how are they using the word index? Okay. It's like a price index. Okay, so I think it's relative. Okay. Right. And this is all of the EU. Okay, so I'm going to start just building a couple different charts here. So let's look at year. And so I'm going to set my index to be an average because that's the way that, if you remember a few seconds ago, I took the just the year 2000, lassoed them all, and it told me the sum was 1200, so divided by 12, and it's 100. So that would be the average. So I'm going to just change this to be an average here as well, just so I'm consistent. Okay. So I'm going to start again by just looking at the EU because I just want to play around with some different visualizations. So that's, kind of boring. Let's put category onto color again. Right, and if I split it out to months, we could see something like that. Okay, so that looks kind of like our similar chart, but I'm going to make what's called a cycle plot. And to do that, I'm just going to swap the month and the year around. And then if I put an average line onto each pane, you'll see that the price overall has been relatively consistent, but this is accounting for the price for each of the categories. So let me see if I can, yeah, so that's doing it for each. Okay, so this is a cycle plot, but it's not very helpful. So cycle plot. One of the things we maybe could do though is we could look at if I take 2015 as a baseline. So if I, for example, look at if I just show the line ends, I could calculate which months have grown the most. So let me just duplicate this sheet. And what I want to do now is I'm going to add a table calculation, and I'm going to make it the difference from pane across, and I want it to be for each category for each month. Let me make it a, yeah, relative to the first. So this is showing me now how much is each one's grown, and you can see, sort of the the books are kind of going down and then flattening and maybe starting to make another peak. Yeah, so nothing, that's not very interesting. So I could just leave that. I actually started a workbook. Let me see here. Let me try something here. Just for 1 second here. I'm going to, let's see. I think that should have just paused for now, I think. So I think that probably paused. Okay, did it pause the sharing on the screen for you guys? I think it probably did. Did the screen go black for you for a second? Okay, it looks like it did. Okay, I was just trying to, okay, so now you should see the screen pop back up in just a second. Okay, thanks Denise for telling me it's a black screen. So it should come back up here in a second. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're back here. Okay, should be coming back. All right, yeah, I made it black on purpose because I didn't want to share something. All right, so one of the things I started working on with, so we've got our 21st cohort in the data school in training now, and one of the things that we started doing was I'm trying to come up with 100 different ways to visualize time. And so I'm going to maybe run you through some of those. I'm thinking about recording maybe a video about 100 different ways to visualize time. If you think that would be helpful, I think I'm going to go ahead and give that a go at some point. So yeah, so let's go ahead and start here. So we did a line chart, right? So this is our simple line chart. And we've done a line chart with multiple series, so that's good. Now we could do something, so let me duplicate this sheet. And I'm just going to call this one deviation from 2015. Oops. Because we know that 2015 is the baseline. So, but this is going to be a bit difficult because we don't have, actually we could just say, we could just say everything minus the index. So if I create a calculated field that's variance from index, so I'm just going to take the index and subtract 100. And I'm just going to wrap it in an average just in case. And what that'll do now is you'll see the shape of the graph will be pretty similar, but it's showing me how much has everything changed versus basically 100. So you can see this is 105.7, 5.67. You know, maybe that is useful, maybe it's not. But that's another way that you could look at the data. So if I were gonna kind of make this look a bit fancier, I would maybe make the zero line a bit more prominent. That way you can see kind of what you're comparing to. So yeah, so there's that. Okay, so we've got that. So that's your deviation from 2015. We could also make that a percent variance. So if I duplicate this calculation, oops, and no, I don't want to do that. So that's, yeah, that's not going to be very useful. Okay. Okay, we could do month over month change. So if I duplicate the sheet, and let's make this a just a difference left to right. You can see this is kind of like a month over month change, but this is an absolute mess. Maybe if I put category here, but you see there's lots of volatility in the prices. So this is month over month change. So that's kind of a mess. I don't really like that one. We've already looked at the change from the first. So let me duplicate this one. And let's edit our table calc this time, difference from, and we want a relative to the first. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and put category onto the color, just so we have it there. Right, so this is the difference from the first. So basically, so this is the change versus January 2001. Yep. So you'll see that the overall index is up 31 points, whereas the books are 22 points. I kind of like that one, so I'm going to maybe color code this one, maybe blue, because that's one I might like, and then this is just the original, but I might be okay with that. So I'm just going to start rearranging some of these along the way as well. Okay. We could also try, let me duplicate this sheet, and maybe I look at a moving average. So if I do add a table calc, I want it to be a moving average. And let's say we want it to be a 6-month moving average. So previous should be 5 because this current value is ticked. So that's 5 previous plus the current value would give you 6. And that just kind of smooths the line out. Oh, that looks pretty neat. It almost looks kind of curvy. So I wonder if I could then take the index and make it a maybe put it on the same axis. Put measure name. No, I don't want to do that. Anyway, so that's a moving average. So that's not too bad. Maybe I'll keep that one for the time being. Okay. We could maybe look at the, yeah, so if let me just duplicate this one. And what I'm going to look at this time is the variance from HICP. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to compare basically 80 to 74. So I'm going to compare these kind of up and down instead. So I'm going to add a table calculation, difference from, so I want to do it for each month. I want to do it by category. And then I want to do it relative to all items. Okay, so you see that's why we get kind of a 0 here, because I'm always comparing it to itself. But you can see if I go back one, so you see books were higher priced here, but now we can see what's the variance in books to, you can see the price of books is gone down relative to, or it has not grown as quickly versus all items. Now, if I didn't want to see this blue line, I could just click on my category here on the color shelf, right click on it and hide it, and I still see everything else. Yeah, so there's that. So that might be useful. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and show the hidden data again. And I'm going to clear my table calc. So one thing I might want to do is maybe just for a visual perspective is maybe join these top to bottom. So I'm going to, oops, duplicate this. Oh, I'm using the wrong buttons. There we go. And let me edit the axis. Untick include 0. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to kind of connect these up and down. So on this second one, I'm going to put category onto, let's see, that's not right. I want to do, let's see, I want to go from one to the other. So I want to do it by, I want to go down. No, that's right, isn't it? So I'm going to put category on path as well. So that's going to give me a bit of a mess. Shoot, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, I think I need them to both be measures. So let me create a calculated field. I'm just going to call this one books. If category equals books, then I want to use the index. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate that and call this one HICP. And then I'm just going to say does not equal because it's faster. So what I want to do on this one is I want to put books here. Oh, these both need to be. I'm going to set the default number format to be an or aggregation to be an average. Okay, and then I'm also going to set the default number format. I like to do this immediately upon like creating the calculated fields. So let me just put books on here again. And I'm going to put HICP onto the same axis. Now, it looks like I'm doing a lot of things here unnecessarily, but you'll see in a second. So I'm going to leave this as measure names. I'm going to take measure values. I'm going to take measure names and put it on path. And I broke it still. So what the heck am I doing wrong here? Maybe if I take category, nope, that's not going to do it either. Oops. Put that on detail. Put that on line. Okay, I'm completely forgetting how to do something. All right, so I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to right click on the sheet and choose delete and pretend I never did it. Okay, we could maybe look at, I wonder if we looked at maybe Sparklines for each country. So if I take country and put it on the rows, and I'm just going to take my average and put it on the rows as well. And then right click and drag month to the columns, and I'm going to pick continuous months. Okay, so if I'm going to do these Sparklines, I would untick include 0. Let's see. Come on. And then I'm going to show them as independent. That way they kind of zoom in. And now I could just drag these over and make them nice and small. Maybe I'll make this actually at the, let me try it at the quarterly level or even the yearly level. Okay, that's not too bad. The yearly level is not bad. I've got 10 nulls, so there must be countries in here that don't have data for all the years. Yeah, here we go, like Switzerland. So I'll just hide that indicator. Okay, that's not too bad. Now, I don't know why the United States is in there if it's not one of the EU countries. That's kind of weird. I'm assuming the rest of them are in the EU. So yeah, so here's the EU there. So, okay, so if I want to try something, just putting country on detail. And if I make it entire, okay, that's terrible. Okay, so this isn't too bad. So, I don't mind this one too. I don't really mind this one very much. So I'm just going to make these smaller. Okay, but they all kind of go the same direction, so it's quite boring. Except for Switzerland goes the other way. Yeah, I don't like this one either. But these are Sparklines. Okay, now the other thing that's popping into my head, but maybe oh, that's why these numbers are weird, because I don't have category on color. Okay. Yeah, so what does that look like? Or if I put categories side by side. Okay, so all items, how did they, all products. So I'm going to just call this all products. And then edit the alias for this and call it books. Okay. All right. Okay. So somebody asked, how am I comparing values with EU versus grouped countries? I don't see any grouped countries, so I'm not quite sure I know what you're talking about there. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay, so the US is in the data set for comparison, Eva says. Well, I don't think it should be in there, but we can agree to disagree because I wouldn't have the US in there because the US doesn't have data for books. So I'm going to exclude the US from the data set. So United States, it does break my heart a bit to get rid of my own country, but so be it. Okay, so Portugal's interesting. That goes way down. The other problem with the Sparklines is, it's hard to keep track of where that index is. So I wonder if I go back and make this automatic. Yeah, that's very, very boring. Okay, so that's not something I want to do. Okay, I think there's Europe. Europe Hex Map Tableau. Let's see if somebody's done this. You see there's always nice ones for the US, but I wonder if I'm trying to see if somebody's created one for the EU. So this is, okay, I don't know whose this is. This isn't particularly helpful. So I'm going to get rid of all of that. And this should just bring me to the regular one. Okay. Dango Rollins. Okay, and hopefully this will display at some point. Come on. It's already 4:30. 30 minutes have flown by. Not all the countries are in the EU. Turkey, for example. I think Turkey is in the EU 27, though. EU 27, which is what it... Dimitri, let's see here. Is Turkey... Okay. It doesn't count the EU, the UK. Oh, surprise, surprise. What are the Euro 20? Okay, so let's see here. I know Turkey's in one of those. Okay. Yep. Okay, so it's a candidate. All right, great. Okay, thank you, Dimitri. So, right. So this is, okay, so Eurozone, EU, EU, non-EU, Eurozone. Just wonder what this would look like as a hex map, but there's going to be so many of them that I don't know if it would be particularly useful. I'm going to go ahead and download it anyway. And I'm actually going to favorite it as well. And when I download the workbook, what I can do is I'm going to open it with, on a Mac, I use one called, let's go all applications, and I use one called the unarchiver. It's like unzipping it. So if I use one called the unarchiver, this is going to unzip the workbook. So a TWBX is just a zipped workbook. And now I can see these are the files. Okay, that's not particularly helpful. Okay, sometimes you can see like if it was based off an Excel file or something like that. So I'm actually going to, because these are probably just for those countries, it's probably just like an XY coordinate. But let's see, because what I'm thinking is, can I make each of these squares instead and then put a little line chart inside each of the squares? So let's see if I can do that. Okay, but Tableau is still starting up. And then the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to Tableau shade between two lines. And let's see. Right. Is this... Come on. Yeah, so we don't want to do it with an area chart because the lines overlap. So yeah, I don't want to do that. So you see this one works with an area chart because the colors don't overlap. So there is a way to do it when the lines overlap. And it's like this one. What's this one here? Data school. I think this is probably by, okay, so this is, yeah, but that's still, there we go. This is what I want, something like this. So we've got two lines and, okay, so, okay, so let's see. That's fine. So it's two area charts. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this, and let's see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a disaster. So let's do a new sheet, and I'm going to again just go to, let's see, what did I do here at the beginning? I just did, that's just the EU. Okay, so it might be easier, quicker to just duplicate this sheet. And I want to make this an area chart. And I want to unstack them, I believe. Stack marks off. Yeah, so analysis, stack marks off. And now they're overlapping a bit. Okay, find the minimum percentage for each year. Okay, so I want to do something like this. Okay, so I'm going to call this my smaller index. And I'm going to exclude the category. And I want to do the min of the index. Okay, so that's that. Okay, right, fine. Okay. Okay, so create a combined axis. So it's a bit hard to see the screenshot here. So percentage and then smaller percentage. Okay, so, and I want to do a smaller. Okay, now we've got both of them. Okay, drag measure names from rows onto detail. Okay, and then I want to click the detail icon and select color. Okay, so let's put that on. But don't I need to now put, oh yeah, I want them both on color. That's right. Okay, so we've got both things on color. All right. Both combinations will be white, of course, so they don't look any different. Okay, do the two just, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so we're going to make this, let's see, so this one we want to set as white. So and this one we want to set to white. Okay, and then so we get something not like that. So smaller percentage. I'm just going to use this African. Okay, so all products. I'll go to my handy dandy Makeover Monday color palette. And then books, maybe I'll make that color. Okay, but now I need to, so they don't look any different, sheet background, the other two. Okay, so then I want to overlay the lines with a dual axis. Okay, but why am I getting, so that's that one, that's that one. Oh, I think I need to rearrange them. Oh, okay, so that needs to go. Ah, come on. I guess not letting me rearrange the colors. Shoot. And it goes. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, this is going to be a line. This is a lot of work for very little payback, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay, so this one needs to just have measure names on it. Make it a line. Okay, forget it. It's not worth the effort. Okay, I just don't have time to read through the instructions there. All right, so let's see if I can do anything with this data set here. So I'm going to go to this sheet. Come on. And okay, so it's got rows and columns for each one. Okay, so what I'm going to do here then, so I'm just going to export the data. And I'm going to call this my Europe hex map. Very good. And let's go to, that's fine. I'm not quite sure where this is saving. Okay, so hopefully I can get these names to match up nice and neatly. So let's see here. So if I go here and I go to a new sheet, so I'm going to edit this data source and I'm going to add the second one. And let's see, so data sources, hopefully this is it. And then, perfect, I got lucky. So now I need to see which names match up. So Europe hex map. Oh, this is annoying. Tableau's got this new like edit relationship. Okay, so I'm gonna do country to, ooh, which one is it? What was it called? Maybe state, is that right? Okay, so how many do we get here? Let's see how many rows I end up with. So let's see, so if I put country, wait, that's from the original dataset, hex map category. So this should be all of our countries along with the EU. And then if I put, let's see, where is it? Official name maybe? Kingdom, Republic. Okay, so I've got 30 marks. And how many did I have before? Okay, it's easy to tell. Okay, so let me go back. I'm just going to hit undo and see how many countries I have. If I go back to my Sparklines, and I have 35. Okay, so there's some that aren't matching. Great. All right, let me try this again. Edit data source. Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'm going to, oh, come on, stupid. Okay, so I want to add a data source. And, okay. So the way that I verify how the countries match is I'm going to do actually data blending. So from my original data source, I have country. And then on this one, if I need to, so edit relation, where is it here? Data, edit blend relationship. So I want to go from, so custom add, so I'm going to go from country to state. This is just going to help me see which ones don't match. So let's see, I've got a null for, let's see, okay, so it's getting rid of, okay, so it's getting rid of the ones that are not part of, so let me see, so if I rearrange these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so those must be the 5 then that we talked about before. If I select these, I've got 30, I still have a couple extras. Okay, that's good enough for me. So close the sheet, I'm going to close that. Boy, I'm quickly running out of time. And this might not, is there, okay, so Denise asks, is there a good source of videos, books for learning more advanced calculated fields, at least advanced me? I'm good with Excel, but it depends on what kind of calculations you're talking about. So if you're thinking about table calculations, then I have a video on my YouTube channel that I can, if I remember, I'll link to it at the end, that has kind of how I go through a table calc in a kind of like a, what do I want to call it? Like in a plain English sentence, and I also have one for level of detail expressions, so maybe those will be helpful to you. Okay, so country and then state. Yeah, so these other ones are gone now. Okay, so let's see if we can make this work. So we want rows and columns, so I want both of these to be discrete. Okay, and I should get, oh, what the heck happened there? I want them both to be dimensions. Okay, so that. Okay, so this is starting to look a bit more like our EU. If I make them all, I think I need to make them all areas first. Is that right? And then average of 1. No, that's not right. So this needs to be a, let's see, I think I can make it as a Gantt bar and then put the size as 1. Okay, and then just make this as big as it'll go. Okay, so now we've got some blocks in here. And if I do this right, can I, if I make this continuous, and if I make this continuous, it's going to give me some blocks like that, which I don't want. Okay. I know I've done this before, but I don't remember how. Let me see. I know I have a album for Workout Wednesday. No, not 2020. Workout, oops. Let's see, not 2020. Workout Wednesday 2019. I think this is it. So I'm going to show you a picture of what I'm trying to actually make. So this here is sort of what I'm thinking of. So, and this is, let's see, this is week 10. So I'm going to go back and open that workbook then. So 2019. Ooh, I'm feeling the pressure now. So my thinking is, if I go back to this picture this instead of the US being Europe, and I've got each of these boxes, but inside of it I'm going to have maybe a line chart, something like that. Okay, but I need to remember how to do it. So this is why I save all of my work. Okay, because I can't remember if I need to make these squares or if I need what I need to make them. So when I open up this workbook, it should help me see how I built it. Okay. Right, so come on, sometime today. Let me unhide the sheet. Okay, so I have a row and a row. What is my space field doing here? So row space, I think that's probably just columns. Yeah. Okay, so let me go back here then. So this should be continuous. This should be continuous. Get rid of that and make these squares. And then I can make them as big as they can go, I believe. So row size almost as big as they'll go. Okay. Okay, so something like that is going to give us kind of what we're looking for. All right, and then what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this, but I want to make this a line. And hopefully I can make this then, if I put, let's see, where are we here? I want this one to be, where's my fields here? I'm getting a bit confused. Okay. So each of these is, but I want to have lines inside of it. Shoot. what if I make this squares as well? So let me just go back to where it was duplicated. And if I put maybe the abbreviation on the label, and let's center that. Okay, and then maybe I could put the, on this one, I'll put the, what if I put the variance from, or the latest index, or the, where are we here? Where are some of these fields? Variance from index, average index minus 100. So if I do the color of one inside of the color of the other, so if I make this one the HICP, okay, so let's look at the oops, if I look at just the year of the latest year, let me just try that. So, okay, and if I put HICP on the color of that one, and then let's put books on the color of this one. Okay, so, and then, so if I dual axis this, what does it look like? And then this one, maybe if I put a border. So we can see the colors change. And then what if I just did the difference between the two? So, so on this one, I want to do, so let's do fixed on year of the month field, average of that. So what I'm trying to do here is to make sure this value comes back. This is fixed year and country. Is it country? Yeah, that's fine. And then let's do the same thing here. So I want to be able to compare each of these. So fixed on year of month and country, and then the average of that. Okay, so none of that should change. That's good. So I want to now look at the variance to HICP. Okay, so this is going to be my the HICP minus my books. And let's just see what that does now. So if I put that on color instead, okay, there we go. So we can see some of them, the variance is higher, and some of them, the variance is lower. All right, and then I could actually display this on the, so you see here it goes like down arrow and then 1%, whatever. So what I'm going to do is default properties number format. I'm going to go down to percentage. Do we want it to be a percentage? No, we just want it to be an index. So I'll just do the number of points and then go to custom. And I want to put little triangles before it. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy design ASCII symbols. And right, so I want to choose that one. If it's below, I want to use the upper triangle. If it's above, so instead of the minus sign, I want the, no, I got that backwards. And then if they're the same, I could do a third, another semicolon, and just put a dash in there. So what does this one do? If I go here, it's just a, yeah, just a dash. So hit OK, and then I'm going to put that on label as well. And okay, so I want to default properties number format. I kind of am liking the way this is turning out here. But I think the whole thing is upside down, so I need to edit the axis here and reverse the axis. Okay, so now the UK and Ireland are there together. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not 100% sold yet, but I don't think it's terrible either. So what I could do then is perhaps have, if I showed this, maybe if I showed this, so edit filter, if I showed it for 2001 as well, and if I put year, where is it, onto the columns, what does that look like then? Okay, so variance 2. So the background color is the HICP average, and then the inner color, but I thought overall the numbers were higher, so something isn't quite. So we can see some of these countries don't have data for some of these years. Okay, so maybe I scrap that idea and look at just 2020. Okay, so I know there is a Workout Wednesday this week. Workout Wednesday, actually it might be here as well. There's one that has line charts inside of, this is why it's good to do these challenges, because then you can go back and see what you did. So if I go back to Workout Wednesday 2018, okay, so it's not there either. So I think it's the latest Workout Wednesday challenge. So latest challenges, or no, it's not the latest, but Luke Stanky had done one recently. That, yeah, something like this. So do you guys mind if I keep going a bit past an hour? Hopefully you don't. Oh my. So calculation, the same cartogram. Okay, I want to just see columns and rows. I have that already. So let me just download the workbook. So what I'm thinking is if I could do something similar to this, but have, instead of having each of these lines, I want to just have it as the index, something like that. Okay, so let's see what's done here. Okay, so this one shows me 2020, which isn't, you know, I kind of like it. I'm not totally sold, but what I was hoping is maybe if I did like small multiples of them. So let me try, no, but that won't work either. So if I do trellis chart, so if I do, I'm going to try to do something else as well while we're here. Come on. So let me, so I'm just going to put 2020 here and then duplicate. And what I want to do is I want to have the rows and the columns, but let me just, for this one, what does the original visualization, where does that go from? It goes from, where is it here? 2000 and, where does it go from? It goes from 2009. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is 2009 through 2020. So that's 12 of 20 values. Okay, so let's see if that, all right, that's fine. And if I now put year onto detail, so year onto detail, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this my trellis columns, and I'm copying these calculations from somewhere else, so don't worry about that. And then I know it looks like this is kind of magic creating these, but I'm just doing it for simplicity. I have these saved in my notes. Okay, so both of these need to be discrete. I'm going to put that one in columns and this one in rows. And I want to compute them by country, I believe. Compute using, oh, let's see, for us it'd be abbreviation. Abbreviation. So hopefully I didn't do that right. Okay, so let's edit the, let's see, we want to do it by the month field maybe. Compute using month. Okay, so now what this is giving me is a mess here. So this is, what year is this? 2015, 2016, 2017. So is there no data for, because it's 2015, that's the indexed year. Okay, so let me just kind of show you what that would look like if I stick it onto, now what the heck's the name of the sheet? 2022. So what this one would look like is, and then hide the header. And let me just get rid of, I'm just going to get rid of all these for now. So delete and then hide. Okay, so my thinking on this one was, let me just make it like bigger. Maybe less wide. Okay, so let me go back here and I'm going to just shrink all these down. And okay, so I need to shrink it a bit more. You'll see what I'm getting to here in a second. Okay, well, I was trying to just kind of show all of the years kind of together in one view, but that looks like crap. So I'm going to delete this. Come on. Let's delete that workbook. Let's delete this sheet. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'll leave those there. I don't know if I'll need them or not. Okay, so right, so this one is looking at, so we've got our columns and our rows, which is what we want. Okay, so let's go back here then. So I want my column and my row. So that's going to give me each of the kind of the countries. And then, okay, so I can worry about that later. So row value, what is row value here? So edit, this is going to be, right, okay, so if I just stick my index onto here, and then, let's see, so this area chart has, okay, so this one, report date. Okay, so I need to have this field here. Oh, maybe I'm onto something here. So maybe I'll make this by quarter. Okay. And I need to put my abbreviation onto detail. Now, okay, some of these, yes, here we go. So the rush, no. Okay, so that looks pretty neat. So if I make that an area chart, and then I compare it maybe, where is this thing here? Category onto color. And then, now let's make them lines instead, like we had before. Okay, so what if I did, what is this one here? This is my variance. Okay, so what if I put that on here instead? So this is my variance. So this is kind of like this is my one that was showing the books compared to, oh, this doesn't look too bad. Well, it doesn't look great, but it's not terrible. And I could maybe duplicate this and make this one a line. And then if I dual axis these, oops, and then synchronize. Okay, so what is this up here? I don't know what this, no, abbreviation is null. Okay, so let's get rid of the nulls. Oops. I wanted to exclude the nulls. Okay, so that might look a bit better. Okay. So this is looking at the index of books compared to the index of, yeah, so this is looking at books versus, what am I trying to say? Yeah. So what I was hoping to do was kind of to combine those and make them squares as well. But I can't do, what if I did, no, I can't do that. I can't do a double dual axis. Yeah, so I can't do, oh, maybe I can. Yeah, see, it made this one discrete. Oh boy, hope I didn't just crash it. Okay, so that didn't do me any good, so let me just get rid of that. Oh boy. I think it just broke everything. I think I better save here at some point. So what are we looking at here? So this is week 38. What do I call this? Let's see, the price of books versus all products in the EU. Okay, let me just save that for now. So I think this is a bit better. All right, so what I would do here is I'm going to hide the headers. And I'm going to hide the headers. Okay, but I don't like it. If I did it by, okay, year doesn't look too bad, but this needs to be the average. Probably doesn't matter. Okay, let me try again. If I did books, and I make this one HICP, and let me synchronize. Yeah, they're already synchronized. So if I make the HICP an area chart, and then the books, I want to bring them to the front. So this kind of shows me both things at the same time. So the books, let me make that a line. And maybe I'll make these, like that. And then I can make this like maybe a light gray or something. Oh, that's too light. Maybe if I'll make this one a line as well. But they're so close to each other, it makes it very difficult to see the differences. Okay, let me try something else. So if I do that, okay, so it just gives me more detail. And then what if I try my moving average again? So if I do my moving average, we'll do my 6-month moving average. Okay, so I want to do pane across. So for each, yeah, so that's good. And then I want to do the same thing here. So yeah, this isn't going to help me at all. I'm wasting a lot of time. So for those that need, you know, what kind of, when you uncheck boxes in a table calculation, what that means is every time you get to a new one of those, it restarts the calculation. So in this case, it's saying every time I get to a new column, abbreviation, or row, restart my moving average calculation and then compute my moving average by month. So that's kind of what that's. I know that's a really quick way to do it. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So now I have my, crap. I don't like how this is turning out, and I really wanted this to be good. Let's see what it looks like if I stick it in the dashboard. I'm desperate for this to look good because of how much time I've put into it. All right, what was the other one we did here? So what if I just try sheet 14? Yeah, these suck. All right. What if I now look at, what if I just look at this one then? So let's look at, let's see, this one. Okay, so let me actually go back. And I'm going to, okay. All right, I need to kind of like finish here at some point. So I'm just going to go back here and see. Maybe what I could do is for each of these, I could maybe put a viz and tooltip inside each of these. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with the original chart, really, but so yeah, what I could do is I could put, oops, so in the tooltip, let's see, I'm going to get rid of the rows and the columns. And I want to hide the header. Okay, I'll clean up all the formatting last. Okay, so and then so in my tooltip, I want to put both values in there. So if I put so now when I'll put let's see, I want to put country into the tooltip as well. Now I should see the country. Okay, so that's good. And then I want to, so let's see, so I want to have the country. I don't need the abbreviation. Don't need the variance. So actually, I could do that because this is going to be, and then, yeah, so I'll just do that. Oops. Right, so I'm just going to, okay, so there we go. So we've got both values, and then you can see the difference as well. Okay, so that's good. So now I'm going to also in the tooltip, I'm going to add in, I'm going to insert the sheet. I'm just going to put my line chart in for now, and the filter is going to be, this is going to be my country, where is it, the abbreviation. And if I hit OK, so what I should see now, so it's only doing it on the one, oh, that's weird. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay. Yeah. Where's my color palette? There we go. Okay. All right, so now if I go back to my dashboard, oh no, I want my, what sheet was it, 2020. Okay, so what's annoying is that when I hover over this one, so why is it not showing the tooltip? abbreviation. So it shows me the variance and everything, but it doesn't show me the tooltip. What the hell? That's really stupid. All right, I don't know why, but we can see it around the outside, so maybe that'll have to be good enough. God, that looks like crap. Okay, so abbreviation, I want to make it maybe like 500 wide, maybe like, I don't know, let's try like 200. See what it looks like. Yeah, that's terrible. So I'm just going to get rid of that. So we can see all the values. Maybe I'll just look at the 2020 price then, because I need to really wrap it up here. Okay. So let me go here. I'm going to do some quick formatting. I'm going to get rid of my cell. I'll get rid of my, oops. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Wrong thing. Get rid of my row dividers. Get rid of my column dividers. And then I want to get rid of my grid lines and my zero lines. Okay. So if I go back to here, go back to, it was 2019. Where was that one? There we go. So there's a little little box here. So I wonder maybe on the, I think maybe the color on the outside. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, right, so the inside one, I'm not going to color it by variance. I'm just going to color it by the books amount. Okay, and they're both blue, which is fine. And the range goes from 43 to 159. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to be a, let's see, what color palette should I use? I'm going to use, where's my Makeover Monday, red to blue. Yeah, let's try that. And I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to maybe start it at 40 and go to 160. And I'm going to set the center to, what would be the center between that? So 80 and 80, so 90? Is that the center? No. What's the center between 40? So that's 120, 60, so it should be 100 is the center. And I'm going to make maybe 10 steps. I'm trying to kind of replicate this one. But that one actually uses a better color palette. That looks like it's using what color palette is that? That's probably, is it the liquor? No. That looks like it's some kind of red to blue. That's not it either. Oh, it's probably Color Brewer. That's probably what it is. Yeah. And that's 1, 2, so it's 8 colors. So let me go down to 8. That looks pretty close. It's not exactly. This is really annoying me now that I can't get the right color. That's okay. I'll just leave it at that. So Color Brewer, oh no, it's this one. There it is. Apply. Okay, so that's going to be the outside. And then the HICP, I need to do the same thing. So that was, I'll color this one. I'm going to do 8 colors. And I want to start at 40 and go to 160. I'm just trying to set the ranges to be the same. Okay, there we go. So this tells us how far you are from 100, basically. So you can see the price, and then I'm showing the comparison as well. Okay, I think I'm almost done. So let me, and can I do it all in one sheet? I bet I can. So I'm going to, where's my sheet here? Let me make it, what sheet am I dropping in? This one, 2020. So, nope. Shift is what I want to hold. Okay. And I want to go 0, 0. Oh, shoot, and what's the 10, 1,000, 800. Okay. Right. Okay, and then my title. What I want to do now is I only need one of these color palettes, so I'm just going to get rid of the other one. And I think, let's see, so my title is going to be how has the price of books and how have all products changed since 2015. Okay, and this looks like, I'm just trying to kind of replicate what's on there before. So semi-bold probably, maybe make it 20. Okay, that's a bit big, so 18. Okay, so then I'm going to this is going to be, let's see, this is going to be the 2020 index. So this is the price index. Okay, so, but I want to go back to this sheet and my price index, where is that? I don't really like the formatting of this. So format, see, it doesn't let me change the number format. So if I go to, I think HICP, so format, and then I think I want to do it on the axis. No, let's do it on the pane. Number. Okay, there we go. But when I hover over, it's now a whole number. Ugh. Yeah, I think I need to, ooh, that's not right. Okay, so the variance isn't working right. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of the variance. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. But why is my variance 104.7? That's not right. It should be. That's interesting how the tooltip is. Yeah, so I don't need that. Oops, no, I do want that. But I don't want in my tooltip, I don't want the variance. That's what I want. Okay. Okay. All right, great. So I think I'm almost done here. So I need to just sort of play around with some of the sizing. So let me show the caption and oops. I think it is it Eurostat? This is Eurostat, yep. Inspired by, and then this is who? This is Daniel Rowlands. And let's see if, oh good, he's got a Twitter. Oh, some great visits here. Tile map generator. Now that could be useful. Okay, so let me go to his Twitter. Darth Visor, that's another great one. Great name. So I want to make sure that I at Darth Visor created by okay, so okay, I just like making that nice and small. Now my whole chart needs some padding around the outside, so let's give it some padding. Okay, and then if I look back at the one that this one here, so okay, so I think what I'm actually going to do is if I format my title and I set the shading to like a light gray or something, you see it only gives me, so I wonder if I put, I just wanted to have a bit of, oh that looks terrible. Okay, so maybe I could, let's see, the price of books and all products in the EU. And this is comparing 2022 versus 2015. And this is not bold, and it's probably like 10 point. Okay, that's a bit better. I still don't like how pushed up it is against the edge. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that, and instead of having this as a title, I'm going to actually put a container in here now. And then this is going to go inside my, oops. Oh, what the hell? Why is it not letting me drop it into the container? Oh, there we go. And then this container I want to have is, so that's 0, 0, and 1. Okay, there we go. So now I can hide the title here, and I can put a text box in. Oops. Okay, so now on this one, let's see, so let me get rid of the padding. And I want to do the padding around the whole container instead. That way it's consistent. There we go. And now this one I can change the background to be maybe a light gray or something. And if I set that to 0, and then I could set the inner padding to maybe 10, and then make it taller. Okay, so that looks better. Now I lost my, okay, so this is here. and this needs to be moved to the front. Moved to the front. Okay, there we go. So so this would be my 2020 price index. Wait, is that right? What the hell am I doing here? So this is, no. But this isn't comparing 2020 to 2015. Yeah, this isn't right. I'm not comparing 2020 to 2015. I'm comparing books versus all products. How do the price of books and all products compare in 2020 in the EU? Okay. Boy, this is taking me absolutely ages. Now I can maybe just put this here somewhere. All right, so now I'm going to make the whole dashboard taller because I don't like how all of the blocks are kind of smushed together. Okay, maybe I'll do it like that. Now I'm going to go back to this sheet and I'm going to make the outer box slightly smaller. This is where you have to, this is like a real pain because you have to go back and forth between the two. Okay, so I need them slightly bigger. You can see what a pain this is to go back and forth. All right, so maybe if I take these, I'm just going to put a white border around them. And then maybe that'll separate them a bit. Okay, they're still overlapping. So let's get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to play with the dashboard height again. So undo. And now I think they're going to be overlapping again. That's okay, they're not. So if I make the dashboard maybe 1100 wide, maybe 1125. Okay, there we go. And now I need to make this like 1025. Nope. Maybe, because I think 1000, they were still overlapping just a tiny bit. Oh God. This really drives me insane. So let me try making them. Oh my God. I'm going to shoot somebody here. Okay, that's good enough. And then I'm going to make the ones on the inside slightly smaller as well. So now how does that look? Nope, don't like it. Okay, so what I need to do now is I kind of need to put some kind of like indicator on here that what these mean. So you see here I've got 2018 and 2017. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to annotate the mark, and I'm going to just put in here this is all products. And then what I can do is I can now move that little thing around here. Right, so format. So this is where I think the squares need to be a bit bigger. So no shading, and I want the line to be a darker color, maybe thin. Okay, and then this one I'm going to annotate the I'm going to annotate a point this time. Let's call this one books. God, this is taking me absolutely ages. Very frustrating. Oh, and I need to get rid of the shading. Okay, how about that? I think that's good enough. So we got a little bit of a legend there now, which I think makes it look a bit nicer. Okay, this, I'm just going to shrink it up. I'm going to put these on layout multiple rows, so that makes that look a bit bigger. Okay. Right. Right. I still want the, God, I don't like how the outer one is so, it feels like it needs to be a bit bigger. Not that big. I just feel like it needs a bit more of a gap. Like it needs more, like I like how there's, now there's a bit more, maybe it's a bit too big. I think I'm kind of stuck on this idea now and I can't get past it. Oh, ended up right where I was. See, the problem is there's like, I wish Tableau had like ways you could like tick them or something. All right, so let me try making the dashboard. So let's see, I hate how big the dashboard is now. But it needs to be. Does that kind of look like the shape of Europe? I hope so. Okay. All right. Right. So maybe if I make it a bit taller again, I bet I end up right back to where I was. So 1050, 75. All I'm trying to do is bring these like closer to each other. Oh, see that? It just went from. So watch what happens when I change this to 1060. You get these big spaces now. Oh well, screw it. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there. It kind of looks like the shape of Europe, I guess. Okay, so this needs to. How do the price of books compare to all products in 2020 compared to the price of all products? How about in EU countries? How do the price of books in EU countries compare to the price of all products? Okay. Yeah, I don't love it, but I think I need to be. Done with it. No, I wanted to go 1065. See, like, why doesn't the dashboard get bigger? See, look at that. That's so stupid. Okay, screw it. All right, any, let's see. Hopefully, wow, this has taken almost 2 hours now, an hour and 41 minutes. So sorry, hopefully this hasn't been too much of a waste of time for you. So I think there's a couple of links that I'm going to put in the video for the first link was for how to read table calcs, and the second was for how to use level of detail expressions. I hope you found this useful. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe, and you get notifications for all the weekly tips that I put out. Share it with a friend, and maybe invite somebody next week. And yeah, that's all I have. Everybody have a great day.